Clara Weaver had always been a solitary person. After the divorce and the city noise finally broke her down, she left everything behind and moved into a Victorian house on the edge of a forgotten town. The house was old, with ivy strangling the porch railings and floorboards that sighed with every step. But it was cheap, and more importantly, it was quiet. The previous owner, an elderly antique dealer, had passed away mysteriously. His belongings were still there: dust-covered furniture, a grandfather clock that refused to tick, and a tall, brass-framed mirror bolted to the hallway wall upstairs. Clara considered removing it, but something about the way it looked, aged, elegant, and heavy with history, made her leave it where it was. The first few days passed in peace. Clara unpacked slowly, sipping tea by the fire and listening to the wind whistle through the broken shutters. Then, on the third night, it began. She was in the bathroom brushing her teeth when she noticed movement in the hallway behind her. Just a flicker, caught in the mirror. She turned, but nothing was there. Dismissing it as a trick of the light, she returned to her routine. But over the next few days, she began to feel watched. It wasn't the kind of paranoia that came from being alone in a creaky house. It was something specific. Her skin would prickle every time she passed the upstairs hallway. At night, she kept her bedroom door shut tight, even though she had never been afraid of the dark. One evening, she paused in front of the mirror on her way to bed. The hallway behind her stretched long and dim in the reflection. She glanced at herself, tousled hair and tired eyes, and then blinked. Her reflection didn't blink. Clara froze. Her hand trembled as she lifted it slowly. The reflection followed, but with a lag. A tiny delay, as though someone on the other side was pretending to be her, watching closely and mimicking imperfectly. She reached forward and touched the glass. It was cold, colder than it should have been. From then on, she avoided the mirror. Days grew shorter, the sky perpetually gray. The house creaked louder at night. She kept the hallway lights on, but every so often, they flickered and went dark for a few seconds. Each time, she swore she heard faint breathing behind her. Then, on the seventh night, her sleep was broken by a tap-tap-tap. She sat up. The sound came again, soft, deliberate, rhythmic. Tap. 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 She rose, heart pounding, and opened her bedroom door. The hallway was dimly lit. The mirror stood at the far end, as always. She stepped closer. There were fingerprints on the glass, inside the glass. Smudged, dragged downwards, like something had pressed against the other side. She stumbled back and slammed the bedroom door. She didn't sleep that night. The next morning, she called a local handyman to remove the mirror. When he arrived, he stared at it for a long moment before frowning. "This wasn't built to be removed," he muttered. "It's fused to the wall. Like part of it. Can you break it?" Clara asked. The man hesitated. "I can try." He swung a hammer into the glass. It didn't even crack. He hit it again. Nothing. "I've never seen anything like it," he said, shaking his head. That night, Clara stayed downstairs, lights on, TV blaring. But it didn't help. At 2:11 a.m., the power went out. The house was plunged into darkness. And upstairs, the sound came again. Tap. 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 She held her breath. Silence. Then, slowly, deliberately, creak, a floorboard above her shifted. Something was moving. She didn't sleep again. On the 9th night, she mustered the courage to face the mirror. She stood in front of it, flashlight in hand, heart hammering. Her reflection stood there, as always. But this time, it was smiling. She wasn't. The reflection raised a hand and waved. Clara screamed. She backed away, down the stairs, nearly tripping in the dark. The reflection kept coming. It stepped forward. But the glass remained. No cracks. No sound. Clara locked herself in the basement. By the 12th day, she hadn't eaten, barely drank. She tried to leave the house, but the front door refused to open. Her phone was dead, and even her car wouldn't start. The house wanted her. The mirror wanted her. On the 13th night, she wrote a note, her hands shaking. If anyone finds this, don't look into the mirror. It learns. It copies. And one day, it replaces. They found the house abandoned months later. No sign of Clara. But a woman lives there now. She looks like her, talks like her. Neighbors say she's lovely. Quiet, polite, always smiling. And if you visit the upstairs hallway, there's a strange, brass-framed mirror. It's just a mirror.